Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you can tell by the title of the video that we are going to be talking about Donald Trump's strong connections to Russia and whether or not those connections can cause him to ultimately be impeached. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button in order to become a member of the campaign. You'll get videos each and every week from me to your notifications. My name is Clyde Lewis and this is We the People. What do you get when you take Russia, add in a dash of the Trump campaign, and mix it all together with some allegations? You get a recipe for another scandal in Donald Trump's long lasting list of scandals. Donald Trump has not even been sworn in as the President of the United States of America, and yet he has more scandals than George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Richard Nixon combined. That's not a great way. The latest reports are to be believed, then that means Donald Trump is going to have the shortest time as the new POTUS because guess what? He's going to be impeached. If he is in bed with Russia and he is putting our national security at risk, it's time for him to be axed. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. About last week, information came out that there was a retired MI6 agent by the name of Christopher Steele that was actually hired to investigate possible connections between the Trump campaign and the Russian Kremlin. So Christopher Steele was actually hired by some unnamed Republicans who had an idea to try to dig up some dirt to stop Donald Trump from actually clinching the nomination of the Republican Party. Now, obviously, that was a fail, but Chris was able to um, compile a dossier, a 35-page dossier. I'll go ahead and link the dossier down in the description box. He compiled a 35-page dossier that outlined all of the different things that went on between the Trump campaign and Russia from the time he was hired up through the election. Now, Christopher Steele personally made sure that those discoveries that he found were delivered to Senator John McCain, who shared it with Senator Lindsey Graham, and that's why they are actually pressing so hard for the intelligence agencies to do a full investigation of the connections between Trump and the Kremlin. Now, while these claims are at the moment unverified, it is to be noted that Christopher Steele is actually a very reliable source who has worked with the CIA on several different occasions and has provided accurate, reliable information and intel. He actually went so far as to move from his home before he released the information in London in order to avoid any type of persecution because he, quote, feared for his life. So that's something that needs to be taken into consideration when you're looking at all of the facts and all of the details that have come out. So there's just a few points about the dossier that we need to discuss that is going to kind of serve as our guide as to whether or not Donald Trump will actually be impeached. Now, when Donald Trump was in Moscow, when he took the Miss Universe pageant there, he sent a series of tweets just saying how gracious the people were there and how he had a beautiful tour of Russia and of Moscow. Now, apparently, Russian spies were able to gather some very compromising information on Donald Trump while he was there to use it to extort and blackmail him for future uh, for future needs. It's no secret that Donald Trump was actually in the public eye. I mean, he is a well known billionaire, he's a celebrity, and he kind of was already dabbling in politics. If you don't remember, he actually was going to run for president on two separate occasions before the 2016 election. In 2000, he was going to put up a fight. against George Bush and Al Gore, and he even entertained jumping in 2012 when Mitt Romney and President Obama were running against one another. The dossier actually detailed some very, very explicit, lewd, sexual acts that occurred allegedly between um, Donald Trump and some Russian prostitutes. And what happened was a high-ranking officials at the Kremlin came to Donald Trump and said, "This is pretty much what we have on you, and either you get exposed or you do our bidding." It makes so much sense now why Donald Trump has been so pro Putin, has been so pro Russia. Now, the next point of the dossier that I want to hone in on is actually one of the most important points, and it is the hacking of the DNC server and email was done with full knowledge and support from Donald Trump and his campaign. Now, if this actually turns out to be true, which I kind of think it is just because of Donald Trump's odd infatuation with Vladimir Putin, I think that this is going to call into question so many more things. As you might be able to remember, Donald Trump actually ran his campaign by uh, continuously putting out the information of Hillary Clinton in her email server, and calling into question whether or not she had the judgment to protect our national security. If Russia had gotten to Donald Trump and somehow put their thumb on the scale to tip it in his favor, and it was done with his full knowledge, we have got to find a way to get Donald Trump out of the White House. Flip side of the coin, the Trump campaign has been sticking true to their narrative and rhetoric that anything that does not come from the Trump campaign is considered, quote, fake news. Kellyanne Conway recently sat down with Anderson Cooper to discuss the way that she connected BuzzFeed and CNN, which are two separate entities, uh, through a story that BuzzFeed, who actually produced and uploaded the initial dossier, and CNN, who actually kind of just brought it to more mainstream. Go ahead and check out this video.
So two things on that. Number one, we don't discuss the classified information that is presented in intelligence briefings.
Well, you just said it wasn't
That's why they're
true.
closed door. Excuse me, but Anderson, if you want me to talk, I know CNN is feeling the heat today.
I
but
think
I was
you guys are
gracious
feeling
enough
the
to come
heat.
on and discuss it. We feel what heat do we feel that you've got this raw information. This complete ridiculous fake news actually is just fake. It's not
actually
even
been
news.
backed
I
up
can't
by
even use
not
the
only
news
multiple
word.
sources, but
No, it
other
hasn't.
news agencies, New York Times,
Okay, well,
Washington
you're just,
See, Kellyanne Conway, like all of the members of the Trump transition team, have stuck to their reins and just deny, deny, deny. When the facts are there, whether they are substantiated or not, the information is out. Why not wait until President elect Trump receives a full briefing, which he has received as of Friday, on the matter, and let him make the final decision? This idea or notion that all news and media that comes out, and if it's negatively impacting Donald Trump, then it has to be fake. Donald Trump posted a tweet right here that pretty much alluding that Russia was to be believed because Russia spoke out against it, as if Russia would actually say, "Hey, I hacked," or "Hey, we're blackmailing you. I just, there's no correlation between the two. Donald Trump, if you're going to be the next president, we need you to make more sound decisions and before jumping to conclusions that all media is fake. What you don't realize is that the media is the reason why you won the presidency of the United States in the first place. Were there no coverage of you and your outlandish acts, then you would not have been in the forefront of the people's mind. Thus, you would have probably lost the election. Finally, we just got a little information and proof of some screenshots and text messages that the Trump campaign has actually been in constant contact with high ranking officials at the Kremlin. The most recent communication that has been found was as recent as Christmas 2016. So it just leaves, once again, a lot up for question. You know, did Donald Trump actually um, orchestrate, with the help of the Russian Kremlin, the hacking of the DNC in order to sway the election? This dossier kind of comes full circle, noting that the intelligence agencies are already looking into possible Trump Russia links. I'm sure they will release the information if need be. The only thing that kind of makes me a little weary is that if they were able to, and when I say by they, I mean the Trump campaign and Russia, if they were actually able to stay in contact all of this time, the initial point of contact was dates all the way back to 2013. So if they have been in contact since then, and it's kind of gone unnoticed, why is it that it's just now coming out? Donald Trump getting in bed with Russia not only puts our national security and national secrets in grave danger, it also calls into question the legitimacy of his victory and of his presidency. As Americans, we deserve to know. No, scratch that. We have the right to know what is going on behind those closed door meetings with the Trump team and the high ranking Russian officials. President elect Trump, if anything in this dossier so happens to be true, you're going to have bigger things to worry about than whether or not Obamacare is going to be repealed or how you're going to build the wall on our borders. You're going to have to worry about how fast you're going to pack your bags and get out of the White House and head to your local jail. It's ironic that during the campaign trail, you yelled with your supporters, lock her up, when you're the one who's 1 inch away, this close from being jailed. Newsflash, the Oval Office and the presidency of the United States are not for sale. It's not a business where you can haggle and barter or new deals with sworn enemies to the U.S. You need to look at your predecessor, President Obama, and take a look at how you handle the presidency with grace, with class. That is a position that should be approached with the utmost integrity and honesty. And right now, if these things prove to be true, you have not done any of that. This week, our PSA is pretty much going to be about the topic of the week. That is fake news. We've heard the term fake news even more so during this campaign. Hillary Clinton spoke out highly against the dangers of fake news. Donald Trump has purportedly been a victim of fake news. We've all been there before. You click a link on Facebook and it takes you to a story that kind of pans out. It has a legit looking website and a legit form. But after reading it, you see there's a little bit of truth and a lot of lies. And that's what's been happening a lot. Now, this fake news that has plagued the entire campaign season, it's only on one side. Of course, when it's good for you and when it's benefiting you, a la the Trump campaign, then it's good news. It's legit news. CNN is the best news in the world. However, as soon as they say something that is in opposition of your message, in opposition of you, then you decide that it's not completely accurate and that it must have come from fake news. Because anyone could put anything out there on the internet. Just ask Donald Trump. He tweets lie after lie after lie after lie, and people take it as Bible. Let's find a way to get through the weeds of the fake news, and let's get to the truth. My name is Clyde Lewis, and this has been We the People. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to post your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'll be posting videos each and every Monday, so be on the lookout for that content. And until next week, sayonara.